ball knocked loose. White dive on it.
This is twice now the Celtics have been first to the floor.
They try to save with Horford. Unbelievable.
Boston first to the floor. So good.
Brown fakes, fires up the three. Bang! Tatum dives on the floor. Everybody dives. Jaylen Brown with the flush. Blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Tatum spinning, driving, layup. Washington drives. Blocked by White. Oh, what a block from Derek White.
Wayne Spooney here, First to the Floor podcast, and I'm joined by the newest member of the Celtics beat reporting squad, Jake Issenberg. Jake, how's it going, man? Big couple of days for you.
It's going really well. It's been a pretty amazing last 3 or 4 days, mixed in with feeling incredibly tired / jet lagged. But every time I got on the way towards the garden, all of the feelings of tiredness were gone, and the adrenaline and excitement took over. And yeah, it was pretty wild. Did I ever hit up Mama Goose from Z Gamer? Not yet. Maybe tomorrow's the day. I haven't had a lot of time for a ton of stuff. I'll be honest. I had the pleasure of going out to Providence. Sam LaFrance was my tour guide, which was fun. But for the most part, it was trying to sleep at times. And then, man, the beat report lifestyle is no joke, dude.
Yeah.
Like, especially the first night, the Pelicans game. It's a 7:30 tip. I'm not back in my hotel room to start writing until like 1 a.m. After press conferences, hopped on the Garden Report. Like, Celtics late night would not be happening. I understand why you're not on that show very often, Spooney, because would be a disaster for your life. But yeah, so I haven't had much time outside of like really focusing on the Celtics stuff, which is obviously why I'm here. I had incredibly high expectations, not by like putting them on. I was just so excited, and like the experience that I had, I think, blew the expectations out of the water. So I'm pretty stoked with how things are going. We'll dive into the details, obviously.
Yeah. James says, on a scale of 1 to terrified, what was it like asking Joe a question? Yeah, great question. I felt like I could tell, just because I've spoken a bajillion hours with you, I could tell you maybe a little bit of nerves the first question, but I thought you didn't sound nervous at all when you asked a question after the Magic game. So was it easier the second time, and how terrified were you?
Scale of 1 to terrified was terrified times 10. It was like, my wife said the same thing. I could tell you were nervous when you're asking that question. And so like through the game, I'm trying to figure out what I can ask him, what I'm going to write about. And I kind of landed on Vooch. Like, he had a pretty good game. There wasn't a ton, narrative wise coming out of the Pelicans game. It was like, they didn't play any of their guys. The Celtics won by 40 and they almost broke the 3-point record. So I landed on Vooch because he played well again. And I was like practicing my question in my head. But then, like, there's kind of a hierarchy in the press conference room, right? And so, and Bobby Manning went first in this occasion, and like the first thing he asked was about Vooch. And I'm like, oh shit! And thankfully,
I doubled it up too, kind of.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Double whammy. And so I was like, well, that's out. I'm like, can I ask like a separate Vooch question? Like, there's not really anything meat on that bone. So thankfully, I had this list of questions that I had worked on between the Discord and whatever. And so I landed on that playoff question that he asked. But I was already nervous, but then having to pivot and then like practice it in my head in real time while I'm like trying to listen to everybody else, because I don't want to ask the same question in case someone asks something similar. But then at the same time, like, there's a guy, Christian from PR, who kind of runs the PR thing, and you like signal to him, like, yeah, I want to ask a question. And then he has like an assistant here, and those two kind of like point to people and like, okay, John, then Bobby, then Jake. And it's like, okay, I'm already in the queue. I can't cancel the question now.
No.
And so I'm like, oh, fuck. All right. I'm just going to go with this playoff thing. Nobody asked it. But by the time so it's John Corrales, then me. Firstly, I thought he'd said Jake as John because I just read it. And so I reach over to like get the mic, and John's like, hey, it's my turn. So I'm like, oh, Jesus, Moses. And then he passes me the mic, and I can feel my heart beating in every part of my body. I'm convinced that Joe wanted to end his answer shortly and could tell that I was shitting my pants and decided to give me extra. And whether or not it's because of that or he changed his mind for another reason, Sam LaFrance agreed with me. He was like, Joe was going to kind of stop after there's no difference between preseason, regular season, and playoffs, and he was going to stop. And then I could see in his eyes, he changed his mind at the last second and gave me this awesome kind of answer, which I really appreciated. But you're absolutely right. Like the next day, way more confident. Like just the whole day, I was way more confident. Like introducing myself to people, saying what up to people. But then, like, being confident, asking a question to both Joe and being able to ask Baylor a question was cool as well. Like saying, "Hey, Baylor," and then he'd give me like a little head nod. I'm like, "Do we just become best friends, dude? This is sick."
Beer later.
Yeah. I'm like, in hindsight, I'm like, I could have done some kind of Australian twist because now he's got this mullet tattoo kind of vibe. I'm like, what do you like? Because my dad was like, everyone keeps saying he's got a mullet. It's kind of barely a mullet. So I could have like tried to like call him out on his like lack of mullet and try to pressure him to doing more. But classic. You know, you're always gonna have those things. Maybe you could have done a tiny bit differently.
Yeah, for sure, of course, and also like you, it's your first introduction to like being a part of the media. You don't want to be like, you don't want to go too over the top and be like, who the fuck was that guy, and get barred, right?
Yeah.
I will say, I thought your questions elicited you got the perfect like Joeism at the beginning, and then on both of them, he went and explained it more afterwards. Because he hit you with like it's all a preseason game is the same as a playoff game. Like fuck, come on, Joe. Okay. Like we all know you're lying. And then like, did you intentionally know what you were doing by asking about him? Okay, all right. Because I was like, oh man, he's just gonna like nothing to do with me. But he gave you a great answer after that.
He gave me both though, because he answered the question with like, so what does it say about you as a coach? If you haven't seen it, that no matter who plays, they play hard, connected, and they execute. And he just starts with nothing.
Yeah.
He says nothing. And then he went on to say, like, it's our system, it's our culture, it's the players, which made writing the story that I wrote for Celtics blog about like Joe Mazzulla's final statement for Coach of the Year awesome. And go and read that if you would like. I'm working on the broader experience of covering the game as well, which I kind of wrote in to prepare for this, and this will help me write that story as well. But that was definitely one of the highlights, was being in that press conference room. And it's funny, you're in there and you're chatting, you're bantering with people, and then like there's just a hush as soon as like he comes in, and everyone's just Joe Mazzulla's here, and then he like gets up there, you chat, and he really has and it's true of obviously of the players and of the coaches around the league. It's like they have an on-camera persona and they have an off-camera persona, and they're just a lot more comfortable when the cameras are off and things are off the record. Like he goes from that press conference, and then they film the like the pre-game interview between Scal and Joe. So I was in the room watching that, and like
I saw you took a picture of that. That was pretty awesome. Yeah.
And seeing like him flip from off to on, and it's like, he's like talking shit, free flowing, and then he gets on camera and he gets into like Rain Man Joe Mazzulla mode.
Yeah.
And
it's awesome. I have at least I think the magic question here if I can figure out how to make this work. So I'll at least just play the beginning of it. Okay. Well, it's very tiny, so I apologize, everyone. But let's see if this sound working.
No,
it's not. Okay.
No. Nice try.
All right. Well, my bad. I should have downloaded. Did not. So
no, I'm surprised it's not working.
Yeah.
But that persona is clearly something that all of the guys have, and something that I had to kind of figure out. And I was asking Sam a lot. It's like the locker room and those spaces are essentially their safe space to a degree, like the back halls. And so, I see like little things like after the game yesterday, Tristan Da Silva came around and chatted to Derek White. And I was like, that's interesting. But they played together at Colorado, which I didn't know. And I was eavesdropping, but like I can't share about that conversation. And I really want to, maybe, offline I can tell you about it, right?
Yes.
But like, there was nothing crazy or anything, but it's just like those little things are their safe space. And so, for for example, you're not supposed to like, I don't know, be a fan back there or whatever. But I was on the first day coming back from the court to kind of the bowels where the dining room is and the press conferences room and the locker rooms are, and I pretty much like run into Derek White. Like he comes around a corner and we like bang into each other.
Yeah.
Mate. And like just pure reflex, I go, "Oh, D White, what's up?" And he kind of like looks at me. He's like, and it's like gives me a high five. And like as I'm doing that, I'm like, I'm not supposed to do this.
Yeah, fuck it though.
This is not
Yeah.
allowed. Yeah, and everyone thought that was very funny that I did that. And like obviously it's not malicious. It was a 5-second interaction and off we went.
Yeah.
But that part of me was very hard to turn off, especially on the first day. Like when Cater hit the 3, screamed. Couldn't believe that happened.
Did anyone else react at all?
Near me, no, because I was on the first day.
To anything really? Like, was anyone in the press box cheering at all?
So the second game, I was sitting next to Sam LaFrance. So the way that it works is like, there's 2 places where media can sit. It's either down towards where the court is, in the lower level, and when it's not a national game, like Sam and Bobby and all those guys are down there, because this Magic game was and then like me and Robbie Hoden and some of the Celtics blog guys are at the very top, and like there's no fans or anything up there, so you can really kind of do whatever you want. No one's really paying attention. But Robbie was laughing at me throughout the that kind of portion. But then the second game, because it was a national game, Sam LaFrance, Bobby Kravitsky, like Justin Turpin roll up the top with me as well. So that was kind of fun. We're all doing it together. Justin Termini was up there as well.
Nice.
And Sam just was laughing a lot. And he's like, I don't like react like a fan. I just laugh when like shit like yesterday was happening in the Magic game where Ron Harper Jr. is going nuclear. It was a lot of laughing at the top. Like we couldn't believe it, what was happening. But that was difficult for me to turn off, was the like, you guys have been there for playback. Like that's not performative a lot of the time.
No, I do that shit by myself
Yeah.
in my basement. Like cameras or not, we're psychos.
Exactly.
So like turning unpsycho for professional purposes, I imagine is difficult, but also like, come on.
It doesn't matter.
Right, exactly. So that's awesome that you got to see Derek. Any other like interactions, like run-ins with people we know or players, like anything weird happen?
Yeah, lots. Like, I mean, so that was like, the way that I've been describing it is, we spend so much time talking about the game, watching the game. It's almost as if the Boston Celtics are our favorite TV show that we've been watching forever, and we watch 90 plus episodes, all of the little spin-off series, which are the podcasts, like, and then being in the show and then running into all the characters. At halftime of the Magic game, we went down to the dining room, and I just like bump into Drew Carter while we're getting snacks. I'm like, "Hey, Drew, I don't know if you remember me, like Jake from First of All." I was like, "Dude, like what's up? How's it going, mate? I can't believe you're over here." And like,
hell yeah,
it's like that's. And same thing with Abby. Like she's like, "Oh my god, you're here. That's really cool." I'm like, "Yeah, I want to just like say hi in person." When I first got there on the first day, firstly they didn't have my credential ready in the and so I had to like call up, and I was like freaking out. Anyway, they got it, so I get it, and then like 30 seconds later, I'm just walking through the tunnel onto like not quite the court. And I'm like, holy shit. And then I just go sit down next to Jack and Noah and Sam, and we just start hanging out. Then 5 minutes later, like on the court, Amari and Sugar and Tonji are doing like pre-game warm-up stuff, going pretty hard. And then a couple minutes later, I just hear this Ric Flair, woo! And it's just Sam Cassell like coming onto the court, like immediately talking shit to all 3 guys. Like, "You're gonna let him do you like that?" Amari got like hit in the oblique and like dropped the ball and stopped playing. And Cassell was like, "You're gonna drop the ball in a real game? Like, what? Like, are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm like, "Dude, is Amari okay?" Like, and it was just like straight into, we're just in the thick of it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not shocked the guy who's famous for doing the big balls dance as his like signature move is a big Ric Flair guy. But I mean, that is like the perfect microcosm of what Joe was saying in reply to your question about how it's about the team and like the system and the structure. It's like they're doing pregame warmups. I've been to plenty of NBA games. A lot of those teams, that is just bullshit time for them. Been to a lot of college games. They're just like fucking shooting from half court and dicking around and laughing. Not on this Boston Celtics team. Like Sam Cassell will embarrass you in front of our beat reporters if you drop the ball because you're hurt, right? So I mean that's such an awesome moment. And can I just say, Drew, salt of the earth. Thank you, Ben, legend. Ben jumped in to upload the magic question. So let's hit that. And then I just want to say, Drew Carter's the man. Like when we had him on, he stuck around for a few minutes afterwards and bullshitted with us. So basically everybody in the Celtics media is awesome. So, all right, here's Jake's question to Joe, if you have not heard it.
Hey, Joe, what do you think it says about you as a coach that no matter who plays, the team plays hard, connected, and they execute?
I think it says nothing about me. It says everything about the team. I mean, they're the ones that have to go out there and do it. It just proves that we have really good players. It proves that we have a system. Proves that we have a locker room that cares about winning. And just as it was important, the guys playing today, the other guys being out there, for the game, sticking with those guys was just as important. So I think it proves the type of locker room that we have, the type of players that we have.
Yeah, it's great. It was a great answer, honestly.
Yeah, dude, it was an incredible answer. Okay, so
yeah, hit me. What do you got?
Yeah. I want to know, like, what do? You show up to TD Garden, right? Like, what do you do next?
So yeah, basically, the earliest you can get there is 3 hours before the game. And I was like, well, I may as well obviously just get there for the maximum amount of time. And so it was different. It was because typically the warm-ups start and like all of the players have like their individual slots. And so 3 hours before is when Amari, Tonji, and Max Sugar go. And then like it progressively gets more and more important players essentially. And like, so I didn't see Jalen and Jason and some of the other guys warm up because I was like at the press conference with both Missoula and then you also see like the opposing press conference as well, like the opposing coach also. But yeah, you basically just hang around the court. Like we're essentially sitting where Wick sits. And what's cool is like being near Jack, Noah, and Sam is like they're around all the time. And so they've got the assistant coaches that are coming through the tunnel, dapping them up. And I'm sitting there like, hey, they're like, hey man. I'm like, yeah, I'm Jake. What's up? And then they're shooting the shit back and forth. On the second day, there was a huge delivery of Jalen's shoes for all of the assistant coaches, all the ball boys and all the equipment guys. So they were all like jacked up, like, passing the shoes around. And I'm like, oh, you're so kind. You even got my size as well. It's like this 6'10" assistant coach.
That's like Cody Dobbins.
Yeah. He's like, he's like, you're a 12 and a half. And I'm like, well, yeah, what are you saying? Yeah. And so you basically just like, you hang out and Jack's working on a story where, taking notes where we're like, Amari's touch does not look great, to be honest. And I was like, Sugar looks awesome in these pregame 3v3, 2v2 things. Didn't translate to the games.
Yeah.
Ron Harper Jr.'s pregame looked really good. But it was funny, I got there earlier the second game, but no one was warming up because there was like half the team needed to warm up. So like all the warm-ups didn't start until like an hour afterwards. So we just kind of like hang out. Something interesting that happened. Greeny DM'd me like when I got here and was like, just so you know, I gave your number to Dave Lewin, the assistant GM, who said he realized you're in Boston through your tweets. And he like texted me while I was on the way to the game. I was like, hey, I'll see you at the game, whatever. Or ask me when I'm getting there. And he's like, came over and said, yeah, nice to meet you. Welcome to Boston. We love I love your content. We enjoy the show. And I was like, the assistant GM's listening to First of the Floor, which is pretty crazy.
Hell yeah.
Which is awesome. And then
that's
like,
incredible, dude. Like it honestly is mind blowing. Anyone listens to this show.
Yeah.
The fact that it's someone who knows what they're talking about is even more mind blowing.
This is why they drafted Jordan Walsh.
That's right. Yeah. The Spooney special right there.
And then like the next time I'm just walking past him, and it's just like a very simple like dap up. I'm like, yeah,
we're just boys now.
I'm just friends, I guess, with the assistant GM, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you you hang out there for a while, and then like at a certain time, that the Joe presser is going to happen. That happens, and then you go to the media dining room. It's $10 for a dinner, and then I'm like at the table with like Sam, Noah, Jack, Corrales, J King, Mark D'Amico, and we're all just like bullshitting.
Yeah.
The media game from like 7 years ago came up where J King took like the shot clock violation. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with this like old story. He got shat on for like 2 straight years, and then everyone was like talking shit, and J King's like, I stand by it. There was no shot clock in the regulation, and all of a sudden there was, and it was just going back to that TV character thing. I'm like, I'm just here. Like after the press conference, I was like, sorry for trying to like cut you in line. Johnny's like, you come all the way from Australia. You think you can fucking cut me in line? And I just kind of slotted into the squad. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, man. I mean, was there like any awkwardness? I mean, we know Jack and Sam at this point pretty well. We've hung out with them at Summer League. So, and I mean, frankly, we've talked to Corrales a ton at this point too. But so you roll up, where you like coordinating with Sam or Jack, be like, hey, I'll meet you guys there, blah, blah, blah. How'd that all work out?
So shout out to everybody. Everyone was incredibly nice, but shout out to Sam LaFrance for being my TD Garden, Boston media
Sherpa,
shaman, tour guide, like absolute legend, like telling me where the entrances are, showing me where the bathrooms are. Like a funny thing is I spent a lot of time needing to pee because I was like, it's a labyrinth in there, and I was too scared to go to the bathroom and get lost at several times. I'm just gonna hold this because I don't want to get lost. And like when I was first going in, I like almost walked into like the cheerleaders getting ready room. And I was like, so glad.
The worst case scenario.
Worst case, like everyone was dressed, it seemed like, but they were like preparing to like go out. I'm like, because there's no like all the signs. It doesn't say like cheerleader room. It says like entertainment prep. I don't know. I'm like, I could be entertainment preparation. I don't know. And so, yeah, but horrible first impression. I just immediately leave.
Right, get right to Logan, get on a plane back to Australia.
How was your time there? Awesome, great time. And so you just that's he was amazing as far as showing me the ropes. That made it really, really easy. But everybody was so fucking nice and at least pretended to remember who I was at times. Because like I practiced it in my head. I'm like, oh, Jake, first the floor. You like have come on the show a couple of times, but you might not recognize me in real life. Everyone's like, yeah, I recognize you. Yeah, of course. And John's like, how long's the journey? Like it was really easy. I'm also pretty and especially that confidence built a lot from day 1 to day 2. And I was, I saw Christian, head of PR. I just like go and introduce myself, and everyone's so like I had a 20-minute conversation with Justin Termini. Everyone was incredibly, incredibly nice. Another thing that happened, like, so I didn't get locker room access. Like that was, only for the guys that are there all the time. And so Joe Mazzulla's press conference ended. They all go to the locker room, and then I just kind of like loitered around the locker room, which was awesome. And because it's like all of a sudden I see Tatum down the hallway, and then like Ron Harper Jr. and Baylor walk out. I would say of anybody that surprised me size wise, seeing them like up close and personal, was Baylor. He both looked taller, but specifically looked like so much thicker. And Sam was saying like, yeah, he's like kind of jacked now. Like in the first year he wasn't, and he got in shape, but like he's in really fucking good shape. And you can see even in the game yesterday, he's just gone balls to the walls 2-way 40 minutes. And so you can see how that translated. But Pritchard won the Red Auerbach Award on the Pelicans game. And so he comes out like holding the trophy. He like put it down to talk to some like family friends and stuff. And he had us take a picture of who he was with. And then afterwards, I was like, oh, I was considering just taking the Red Auerbach trophy home. And he was like, "Oh, you can have it if you want." I'm like, "You're not gonna put it like in
On the
your
mantle?
mantle?"
Yeah.
It's like, I got a lot of trophies. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. So do I.
That's awesome, dude.
So just like being there, you can just see random shit happen.
Yeah, well, and like, right, like, okay, obviously you're going to be nervous, obviously going to be anxious, but how many opportunities are you going to have?
Yeah.
Right. Are you going to be on a fly in the wall and be uncomfortable the whole time? Or you just got to fucking go for it. Right. Yeah. So it sounds like you were grab the opportunity by the balls and just fucking do it, man, which is awesome. So yeah, we should probably hit PrizePicks. I'm going to bring up, if you've got the read ready to go, Jake, I'll bring up the Be Real here.
Hell yeah. It's PrizePicks time, baby. Playoff push is heating up. We got Orlando, Philly for the honor of getting destroyed by the Boston Celtics. And there's no better way to cash in if you're right on the high-flying hoops action than PrizePicks, America's #1 sports pickup. Every bucket, every dime, and every win means more when you're playing on PrizePicks. And with their brand new team picks markets, you can now pick game winners, which I've been waiting for, spreads and totals on top of the player picks you already know. So cash in if you're right during all the clutch buckets, slam dunks, and Cinderellas this spring with team picks on PrizePicks. So download the app today and pick your first game winner, spread, or total as the playoff push rolls on, and get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup when you use code CLNS. That's code CLNS to get $50 in daily fantasy lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. All right. So I'll do the disclaimer at the end. Should we jump on make a lineup here for
Okay, yeah, here we go. All right. I've got a couple $100 in my PrizePicks account. We're gonna see how long we can ride this thing through the playoffs. Okay, so I was looking at this today. Here's my first pick, right? I think Miami's really smart, right? It's play-in season. I like that Miami Charlotte. I've watched a good amount of both of these teams this year. Feel like I got a good handle on that game. So they're going to take the ball out of LaMelo's hands, right? Okay. Which means Con Knipple, 18 points is the line. I'm going more on Nipple's points. Okay. Davion Mitchell, don't know what it is. His point totals at 8. That feels really, he can't make like 2 threes and a layup and then a free throw or something, or a couple threes. Like, he's going to have plenty of shots. It's going to be a fast paced game. Charlotte is not, they played defense better, but I think Miami can get into their stuff and Mitchell will be able to get some open shots. So I'm thinking more on Davion Mitchell, points at 8. Okay. So the last one, I want to do 3 here. Couple I'm looking at. Paulo, 5.5 assists, more. Bam, 21 points, more. Or Jaquez, 19.5 points, less.
Okay. I'm feeling Jaquez less.
Okay. I love that. Oh, I can't put it in less. Oh, yeah, there we can. Okay, never mind. I'm just incompetent.
There we go.
Okay, we've got it. All right, so we've got Davion Mitchell, more points. Jaquez, 19.5 points, rebounds, assists. It's actually all 3, not just points. Less. And Con, 18 points, more. I'm going to put $20 down on that. That's going to be $120 to win. Putting it in right now. Okay.
All right, love it.
Disclaimer. Oh, go ahead, Jake.
PrizePicks Predict is a registered FCM offering team picks and culture picks as event contracts. Trading involves significant risk, not for all. The content provided is for informational and educational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice, a recommendation to trade any commodity interest, or an offer to open an account. Promoter is not, first of all, is not registered with CFTC or NFA. PrizePicks Predict does not endorse or guarantee any statements made by third-party promoters or influencers. Please consult with a qualified professional before making any trading decisions.
All right, PrizePicks, it's fun. Get with me over on that Con Knipple more. Hey, what's up, Bill?
What up, Bill? Yeah. Shout out to Celtics blog for giving me the opportunity to do this. I feel like I represented the blog as well as I could have, and outside of accidentally high-fiving Derek White, which I know is not technically part of the job description, but once we made it through that first hurdle, we were off to the races, and I've had a good time. I'm in the middle of writing the recap, which is really going to be the oral history of this story, which is going to feature that Sam Cassell story and a few other things that I think make this trip special. And I know like BHP in the chat here was like saying we're so happy for you, and a lot of people have been saying that. And obviously it's not possible without Spooney and Ben to make the show possible, and like everybody here and everyone that's given us a platform and pushed us forward to give us a chance to do that. So hopefully you enjoyed any of the content I was able to bring out and write. But at the end of the day, we all love the Celtics, and it's kind of felt like we're all doing it at the same time. And it's just very much appreciative from everyone involved.
Yeah, man, I'm really happy for you. Like, honestly, when I when I heard your voice come over the press conference, I just like got giddy. I was like, that is so cool. It's like, wait, is he talking to me? Wait a second. Okay. So it's really awesome, man. And I think the way everyone's reacted to your trip is sort of indicative of, who you are as a person and like how you interact with the people we do this show for. And I think it just speaks a lot to your character, and I think it's really awesome, and we're all super happy for you, and you killed it, man. So do you want to talk a little basket? Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I don't want to get mushy here, but I'm really happy for you, dude. And like being so far away, those opportunities, like who knows if they're going to come around again. So it's like really, really special. And I hope you have not washed your hands since you high-fived the flight.
I was like, I can't believe you just touched my hand, Derek. You don't know what's been going on with. I was like, this is the mistress hand.
Oh my God. This is incredible. Somebody give me some saran wrap.
I mean, like it all, like what's not necessarily ironic, but like the Celtics delivered in the Celtics way, and like both games, on paper, both games did not look like, oh, you've gone all this way for the Pelicans to rest Zion, Trey Murphy, DeJounte, Herb Jones. Like, I couldn't really tell you who I saw play for the Pelicans, honestly. McGowan's, Peavy, like
Derek
Queen. Derek Queen played.
Yeah.
Oh man, the defense was horrendous. Fears had 36. I looked up at the end of the game. I'm like, really?
There has never been a more meaningless 36-point game than
insane.
Whatever he did. Yeah.
But like then they get so hot that they're going for the record. And even when the game started, I said to Robbie, I'm like, I cannot believe how good this atmosphere is for the most irrelevant game of the season, in a game where Tatum's not playing and all those Pelicans guys are out. And then the Celtics delivered an offensive masterclass, which ended in the crowd going nuts. As you could feel, one, news starts spreading about the record, and two, you start to see it be possible. And like they were within 1-3 with a few minutes to go, and Baylor had one just go a little bit long. But then like yesterday was like the coup de grace, like Magnus Opus, I don't even know if I'm saying that word right, of like all day everyone's talking about, oh, Jake, you've come all this way and you actually might need to play tonight. Like we got 7 active
minutes.
7 active players. I'm like, I actually might need to use those 7-4-1s that Jalen had going around. And the line is 13 points. But at the same time, I was saying to everybody when I got there, I'm like, I'm really excited for everyone that's going to play today, because these guys don't get that opportunity. And I know for a fact they're going to be prepared. They're going to have a game plan, and they're going to like play as hard as they possibly can. And I was saying, could they keep it close and attached for like the fourth quarter, so it's at least entertaining? And not only did they keep it attached, but they had a third quarter avalanche. And I posted a video of it on Twitter, if you want to go find it, of the Garden in the midst of that third quarter avalanche, where they get a rebound and then Ron Harper Jr. like dribbles up and has like a tween hezzy pull up to put the fucking team up 14 points against the Orlando Magic that's playing everyone.
Yeah.
To go up 14, and they're trying to like hold on to a home play in game. And the Garden's gone absolutely berserk, and everyone that's playing is contributing.
Yeah, man. I'm assuming you haven't like rewatched the broadcast of the Magic game.
No.
But yeah,
I watched the highlights from like Timmy's, and I was like, holy shit, the kid's
yeah.
crazy.
Well, Doris had a little tidbit about how you were saying like you're happy for these guys that they get to minutes and an opportunity. It was Ron Harper's birthday,
Yes.
and she like asked him. Somebody asked him like, "Oh, did the what did your family get you for your birthday?" And he's like, I don't even know yet, but like Joe's getting me the most important thing, minutes. And I'm just like, hell yeah, dude. Like that's what we want. That's the mindset we want. Yeah. I mean, it was just like an incredible performance. Like we have been Team Ron Harper Jr. since like the first good game. And every time he gets an opportunity, he just looks awesome. He's overstretched as a basically kind of a primary ball handler at times. Him, Baylor, and I guess a little bit of Shulga kind of shared that responsibility. I thought he looked really, really comfortable attacking this Magic defense. Like he had multiple takes to the rim where he doesn't really go to, like, he'll dribble left and get to the rim. He doesn't finish with his left, but he's so long and he's so strong that he finishes with his right and he gets it like all the way up to the square and just kisses it in. He did that 2 or 3 times. Like nobody on the Magic could stay in front of him, which is just absurd and frankly an embarrassment for the Magic that they got beat by this version of the Celtics. But system, players, like all these guys are good. They're all hungry and they all execute. Like the offense looked like the Celtics offense. This was not a pickup game. Like they were running stuff. You could see multiple times, like if something broke down, Ron Harper's like, get up here, Amari, like set a screen for me, get up here, Garza. Like we're going to get right back into our stuff. We're going to run something with 10 seconds left and try to get a shot. Garza was absolutely awesome too, but I think Baylor was the player of the game. Like obviously he led the team in scoring, but defensively he had that crazy ass chase down block that and just was like everywhere he could have had a bunch more assists too. Like he had some absolute dimes that people just did not make their shots on. So like incredible performance from everybody on the team. But I thought Ron and Baylor were especially like, wow, these guys are like real dudes.
So yeah, to your point about Ron Harper saying the minutes thing. So I think Sam LaFrance got this quote, which I put in the story last night for Joe's Coach of the Year thing. But Ron Harper Jr. said that Luka Garza, to the guys that were playing, huddled everybody up and said, like, this is for all the times that we've been on the bench, all the times you've wanted an opportunity, we have a chance to go out there and show it. And like, that's why I was excited for those guys, because this is a real opportunity to like make a statement, put some shit on film that can get you paid. Like this is like, it's hard to get minutes in the NBA. It's hard to get minutes on the Boston Celtics. And for the most part, they all took like not just opportunity, but had one of like, it was like straight up one of the most fun games of the year for the Celtics. And like to your point on the offense as well, like and how they were running stuff. That was what I found hard watching live. I'm like so used to my experience watching at home and rewinding and stuff. Like came out of a timeout and they ran like it was similar to what they often run, like the flare screens that they're constantly running to get like either shooters open or to drive closeouts and get the offense moving. But there was like a ton, like a twist and like a zoom. And next thing I know, Harper Jr. had a 3. I'm like, oh my God, like I need to, where's the replay? How do I rewind that? And like one of the cool things about sitting up the top, you really have a really good view of the X's and O's standpoint because you can see every player and everyone, like what everyone's doing at every moment. But yeah, Ron Harper Jr. I tweeted during the game like Ron Harper Jr. and Baylor Scheinman in game 82, and it's Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. I could have easily put Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Like those 2 guys were playing like that well. But so who was it on Twitter today? Because I want to give him credit because I thought there were such good comps for Baylor. But yeah, Matt John NBA replied to Matt Celtics Matt on Twitter about Baylor, and he was like, are we seeing a little Dragic or Ginobili? Remember how Ugo got the Ginobili comps basically just because he was a European white guy?
Yeah, and funny enough, Ginobili not even European, he's Argentinian. But you're right. That's exactly why you got the comps. Yeah.
So like both lefties, Dragic and Ginobili, and especially seeing Baylor last night, the way that he like gets downhill, has the pivot foot stuff. And the question that I asked Baylor was, obviously, had a big night, but you got to the line 8 times and he got to the line 6 times in the first half. And that was when they were like just trying to stay attached and were having a little difficult time just like softening the defense. And he was like getting downhill, decelerating, pump faking, and just like willing himself to the free throw line. I'm like, that's fucking crafty, man. And it's very Dragic-y. I like those comps. He's a thicker version of both, and these comps are always difficult. But I did like those comps, like ballsy, skilled, big moment, lefty buckets.
Yeah, I like the Dragic. I just Ginobili was such like a one of one.
Well, he's too good.
Player.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
But I'd kind of like the Dragic one. He was more point guardy and Baylor's more wing style, but the playoff 2 feet when you get to the lane, kind of weird finishes. Like I feel like Dragic's would always be like throwing some bullshit up off the glass and it would go in. And Baylor had like one, I might have been in the Pelicans game where he had this like crazy lefty hooked style thing that went in. So I and the passing chops, like Baylor legitimately has vision. Like to me, that's where kind of the Ginobili comp sort of starts to make some sense is he was a wonderful passer and Baylor just sees stuff, man. Like he had multiple times where he got downhill, see a bodies, and he's whipping like a one-handed over his head kick to the corner to somebody wide open. Like, and this is how he played in college. Like what we saw was like what he did in college, where it's like total green light, get downhill, do whatever you want in the lane. Like, let's see it, Baylor. So he did look extremely comfortable playing this way. But like the Magic are not a bad team. Like they're especially defensively, they're a good defense. And like they did not bother Baylor 1 second out there, man. So
early, yes, but then once they got going, it was like, oh no, there is no resistance.
Yeah, man. And I thought like Baylor just kind of missed a couple shots early too, especially. So I really like Walshy didn't get the shot to go. Really liked his game. He's the type of guy that offensively, like he needs sort of the elite players on the team to be around him to truly look like good offensively. But sort of like Sam Hauser in that way. But I just like thought the defense popped at times for Walshy, 7 defensive rebounds, was flying around. So really loved the game from him too.
He was the primary on Paolo, and Paolo was 7 for 22, which is not, it's
very Paolo-esque.
Kind of par for the course. So I don't want to give Walsh all the credit, but it's a tough assignment for Walsh. Like that's physically Paolo is huge. Another guy that looked different in real life. Walsh looks a lot stronger and thicker in person. I was quite surprised. I was like, yeah, man, I think it's just how long he is.
Yeah.
Is probably making him look a little bit like that. So I had a bit more hope as far as him being able to bulk up. But yeah, no, his game was fine. It was a purely missing shots thing. But at the same time, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, steal, block. He was a team worst -14, but he battled. And the 1-3 that he did hit like late in the game, I was like, once the Magic were coming back, I was like, this is the one. Like it'd be really nice if you could give us one here. Yeah, it was 68-61. They were still down. They were trying to stay in it, and that's the 1-3 that he hit. I was like, oh, nice. He also had that other nice cut and an out-of-bounds play that Baylor found him on as well. Yeah, look, sometimes the shot's not going to go in the whole way through. Too long since we've spoken about the big dog, Garzilla.
I hate that nickname so much.
But he's earned. So did I when it started.
I hate it.
He's earned it so hard.
Yes, he's right in my eye. He has definitely earned it. He was awesome, man. Like
the shot, that's fucking nuts. Like, go for the 2-for-1, catch, turn, fire. Dude, it's like
pointing like Fenway, like they were pointing like out like a
Foul
Fenway
ball.
Park seat where it just like points to the outfield somehow.
Dude's like in his jersey.
Yeah, man. What is it? Wendell Carter too?
Yeah.
It was him or Paulo. Yeah. It just like hand completely in his face, buries it. He was phenomenal, setting monster screens all night. Yeah, dude. And like defensively, the Magic are the perfect matchup for him because they just cannot take advantage of him defensively.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, I just watched it again. God damn, that's such a ridiculous shot. Um, everyone's so hyped. And another thing that happened, right? So like Tatum, Pritchard, Jalen were out there for the first half, and often sometimes they go back. And then as the avalanche was happening, they all came back out in the third quarter, which was cool. It's interesting as far as like who you prefer to see. Guys that can definitely play in the Magic series. A Philly series with Maxey is a little more scary as far as defensively goes. Big man wise, you're not really worried about Drummond or Boner. But like on Godzilla, I'm sorry. If we're gonna use the nickname, today's the day for it. But he did everything he needed to, was fantastic. How do you feel about the Vooch Gaza situation right now? Because Gaza's, I think, been pretty good every time he's been out there recently.
So I don't know. I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment because I don't know, Vooch was pretty good against the Pelicans. I do feel like Vooch has a more, I don't feel this way. He has a much more varied offensive game. He can just do more different things. And I think his trigger from three, it's just quicker. Although Garza, is pretty willing to shoot, man, and like similarly willing to shoot. I trust Vooch on the defensive glass more. I do feel like he moves a little bit better than Garza. But Garza sets way better screens. I think he's a better offensive rebounder. He's, I guess, just as good of a shooter at this point. So if Garza can handle the defensive glass, that's my biggest issue with him, is that at times we've got battered with him on the court on the defensive glass. If he can handle that, I think it's a pretty easy Garza for me, but there's no guarantee there.
Yeah, I think the important thing overall is that Missoula's willing to pull the plug or pull the levers.
Yeah.
Like if it's going poorly with Vooch, please just don't stick with it. Because I'm with you. I do, like in the Pelicans game, it's hard to read too much into. But Vooch has this stretch of like 3 assists in a row. The passing is definitely there, and he can make shots. I definitely trust Garza's 3-point shot a lot more than I trust Vooch's 3-point shot. Even like on those short roll push shots, I trust Garza as well. It is also important to remember that Vooch just came back from the broken finger. And he talked about that after the Pelicans game. Like he's been thinking, like he's been basically very conscious of feeling sore and weird still. So that's an element. So we just haven't seen it, and it's not his fault necessarily, but the playoffs are here, and it's good they have this week to hopefully get him more acclimated. And and he had that good second half against the Knicks as well, where he did control the defensive glass, and I thought really struggled against Mitchell Robinson in the first half. But if he can handle those minutes, like if he can handle the defensive glass when Mitchell Robinson's out there, that would help a lot. What worried me a little bit was like he didn't help bend the offense for the Celtics that much when he was playing against the Knicks. Whereas I'm not sure if Garza necessarily does, but because of what he gives you on the offensive glass. But then at the same time, the Knicks are so good on the defensive glass. I'm not sure that Garza is going to be able to impact the game on the offensive boards. So the most important thing to me is being willing to toggle between the two and see who has it or who does not have it. Like, don't go down with the ship with Vooch.
Yeah, I think, and we're all concerned because of what happened with KP last year, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's kind of what it goes back to, is like Luke was very obviously the better choice for that entire playoff run. Yeah. And he just stuck with KP. I think if somebody posted KP's stats from that Knicks series again recently, and it really was incredible how bad he was. So I think arguably either one of them would be better than what we got from KP last year.
Probably true.
And so yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I essentially at this point, like, you just got to trust Joe to press the right buttons. I'm trying to think of situations where we'll need Vooch's offensive versatility. I think a Magic, like they both can play against the Magic, and I think they both do different things that will be really helpful against the Magic's defense. It's just like they're so overlapping with what they suck at defensively, man. Like I just wish one of them was like kind of bad as a switch big and the other one was just kind of bad as a drop big, and then we kind of mix and match that way. But that's why I kind of, part of me leans Vooch, because I just really believe in the defensive rebounding. And if you're gonna be a bad defensive center, you better clean the glass when people do miss.
Yeah.
But it feels like we've been like Garza has been trending up on the defensive glass recently. I don't have the numbers to back that up. I could look them up pretty quickly. But I don't know. That's just kind of my impression. So I'm not sure, man. Like, I don't know if the answer is probably like, it will depend on what the game needs.
If it was like a do or die game 7 tomorrow, I'm going Garza. But
yeah,
that's not how it works. Like I think from what we've seen since Vooch has arrived in Boston to today, Garza's been better in the minutes, I think. And Vooch has had really good stretches. It's not his fault again with the injury. But again, thankfully, first round should be relatively smooth sailing. So should have some more opportunity to get Vooch acclimated for the second round. You definitely talked me into maybe preferring the Magic because it just makes those two guys more viable.
Yeah.
But their dirtiness and physicality that we experienced last season, don't really want to deal with that. It does feel like these guys are ready to just quit so hard. Like, I'm not sure, like Bobby Manning went to the Magic locker room to ask Paolo questions, and Paolo looked like the team died, which it kind of did.
Yeah. Forsberg, when we had Forsberg on, he had a really good point. He's like, this is not the Magic of last year. Right. Like, he just kind of like, they just are not playing the same way. They don't care. I saw multiple times Jalen Suggs was just like throwing his hands up in frustration when he didn't get the ball when he wanted it. So I think like, I'm really leaning to the Magic now. You're right. They just seem like they're about to implode and quit on the coach. And like, but the problem is like, I think they're probably going to get beat by Philly in the play-in game.
Yeah. Oh, the line is 1. I thought the Magic were going to be favored without. It's basically pick 'em. From at least the last time I looked, which I thought the Magic would still be favored just because no Embiid, and the Sixers have been really bad without Embiid.
Yeah,
I don't think you can go wrong.
True.
I don't think you can go
Drummond
wrong.
Is their Drummond and Bona are their centers, man.
Like, I kind of like Bona.
No chance. I do too. I like him as like a 15-minute a night guy. When your center isn't Andre Drummond in front of him. So I think it doesn't matter. I think we'll mop up both of these teams pretty quickly. I just don't think the Magic are going to play like they did last year against us.
It's funny because the Magic are actually 4 or 5 wins better than they were last year. But,
I know.
But they did a lot of that work recently. And I've been like, you really have to be careful with March and April basketball.
Yep.
Like, especially this year. Just half the league was in complete shambles. But we will definitely dive into that more. Could do a Patreon potentially just talking about which one we prefer, but we'll definitely do some preview stuff once the matchups get set. See Ben's question here about any behind the scenes stuff from the Garden Report. I mean, firstly, Bobby just was like, "Hey, you want to come on?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, absolutely." And then afterwards, he was like trying to find me a seat, and it's like, "Yeah, just sit where James Borrego was sitting before the game." I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'm just sitting where the press conference was happening before." This is
fucking
cool,
awesome.
but like not really from a Garden Report perspective. It is what you see. You get what you get when it comes to the Garden Report. But it was heaps of fun to hop on and talk some shit with those guys as well.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Anything else like we haven't talked about the trip that you think we should know or share?
Okay, this is a random one. So Banton was back, right?
Yep.
And he was getting warmed up before the game, and Brad Stevens came out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm
Brad.
And he goes up to Banton, and I'm like, this is kind of an interesting dynamic because on one hand, Brad's given Banton a ton of opportunity. On the other hand, he's let him go several times now as well. So it's an interesting dynamic. But Brad comes over and he's just like, when'd you get in? Like, we're stoked to have you back. And it was a really positive interaction. And I'm like, and Banton I thought was good. You know, to quote Ben Vallis, one of the greatest theoretical players of all time. And like maybe I don't know how old he is now, but there is, you know, something to having this guy that gives you a little bit of rim pressure, and he gives you rim protection as well. As a guard, like he is now 26. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's getting up there, but like as your 15th guy, you can definitely do worse. And I think the Celtics are just in a place where they love so many of their guys. And Banton's obviously graduated. I don't think he can do any more two ways. So, yeah, I thought that was just interesting to see that dynamic between like that push and pull of getting opportunity and being grateful, but at the same time, obviously probably wishing and thinking that you deserve a spot over. I mean, I don't know who he thinks he deserves a spot over now on this team because everyone's playing so fucking well. But yeah, that was the last tidbit. I think I'll check the notes here.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'll say that is not surprising to me. That's how Brad Stevens conducts those types of conversations, man. That's exactly how I would expect him to be. And I'm sure he's the type, like very Spursian, like once you've been here, like you're kind of part of the family and we'll always treat you well. And like, I bet you Brad is like, hey, here's the reasons we've got to move on when he does have to cut somebody. So not surprised.
Yeah, look, there's a couple of little things that are in there that I don't think I should. And they're not going to break anyone's brain, but it just kind of feels like a tiny bit of an invasion of privacy stuff. And I like on my one time there, I don't want to break that code, obviously. But I'll tell you for sure, like it's nothing you're like, oh, thank God I know that. So just don't feel like you need to have that information.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, you're going to be going to a playoff game as a fan here pretty soon. Yeah. So that's awesome. We should probably wrap it up there. I have nothing. Yeah, I've got nothing to add. Yeah.
Wrap it up.
All right. Awesome. All right. Thanks for joining us. Like Jake said, we'll be on again later this week for sure. Talking playoff matchups. Thank you all for joining us. Shout out to Jake. That's an awesome trip. And man, I'd loved hearing about it. So that is going to do it for this one. As I stumble my way through the outro, we are out. Peace.